Hi everybody, and welcome to Traveling with Russell, and welcome to a new video. Welcome to Moscow region. Now I'm actually a little bit closer to my house than I am to the center of Moscow. I'm around about an hour away, depending on how you were to drive there, and I'm in the town of Odintsovo. And if you're from Moscow, you probably know this region, and it's not too far from where I live geographically. But we've come to see Globus. Finally, I'm at a different Globus to the one that I show you in all of my videos. And I thought I'd show you a standalone Globus that was here quite a lot of years. And it was the only thing in the car park. And you would come here purely to come shopping and head on home. But I thought I'd just show you what it looks like in 2024, a Russian typical supermarket. To get here, I actually caught their free bus from the local train station. Globus actually has a shuttle bus running about every 15 minutes, which is super nice. And in the car park, there's a fireworks shop. And please let me know where you live in the world. Do they have fireworks shops? Now, of course, leading up to the new year, these will become more and more busy. Right now, however, in October, I don't think they're doing so much business. So this is Globus. I've shown this in quite a few videos. It's a German supermarket chain that's all throughout Russia. They're basically called hypermarkets. And for me, it's still a supermarket. It's just really big. And it's in this business park called Odi Park. And there is actually a shopping center just off in the distance. There is actually a hardware store as well. So you've got lots of excuses to come here. And the one thing that I noticed when I got off the bus is they've got a small farmer's market set up. And I think this must be provided by Globus because of the color of the tents. And they've got this market right here with lots of handicrafts and local Russian-made items that you can buy. I think this must be a weekend thing. Today is Sunday afternoon, so I think it's just on the weekends that they host this. However, they've got lots of different types of local foods and local products. There's a gentleman here with apples and tea, and there's some cheeses as well. And although the weather isn't amazing, people are still out and about. And this is a great thing for the supermarket to put this on, because it gives you an excuse to come to the farmer's market, an excuse to come shopping, and you can find some more traditional Russian items that you may not get in the supermarket. Do we call these pomegranates? I'm not too sure what the Russian name is for them. There is also quite a lot of sellers here with cheese and different smoked meats. And this is all paid by weight, so you get it in 100-gram amounts. And the one thing like this kind of a place, you can just let them know how much you want. So if you just want something small or large, you're not, kept to the actual size. There's also fresh fish as well. You can see some nice local fish. Perhaps it's not very local. We don't have that many rivers in Moscow. On the side of the tent, it does say from local farmers. But most of the fish comes from the Far East, not from anywhere near Moscow. There's more cured meats and different honey as well. Now, the goal is to go and walk around Globus. I'm a bit distracted by this market outside, and I think everybody who isn't from Russia perhaps may not see something like this where they live. Now, of course, the way it's displayed is just how it is in every shop in Russia. When you go to a market especially, you can get some smoked fish as well. And there's definitely something about these markets in Russia. Now, depending on where you live, they might be called a rynok, which is a more traditional name for a food market. Let's go and check out Globus. I'm not too sure how long this video will go for, so perhaps have a look at the end time, grab a cup of tea, maybe some popcorn, and enjoy this tour of a very typical Russian supermarket. Globus, although it's not Russian owned, it's incredibly well known throughout the whole country. And it's a very popular place to come because you can buy everything under one roof. You're not having to go to other supermarkets for something different. And that's why even I like coming here, because I know when I want something, I can definitely find it. Walking inside from the cold, it's actually really nice. They've got heaters just blowing on you, and it's toasty warm. When you come in, you can almost take your jacket off, it's that warm. One thing that Globus does have, it's got a cafeteria or a restaurant, whatever you'd like to call it. And this particular Globus has two of them. This is the sit-down one with the restaurant. And I came here a little bit earlier and actually had breakfast because I've been here for quite a few hours. They've also got shawarma right there, which is essentially a doner kebab if you know them very well. Let's have a look at what different foods we can get. You can see how popular this is. Now this is a supermarket restaurant. Keep that in mind. This is not fine dining. It's not, you know, VIP seating. However, the food they've got is always very nice. You can get different salads and fruits. There's tea and coffee and juices. Actually, it's really quite busy. But it's traffic jam-like walking around. I came quite a lot of hours earlier and there was hardly anybody here. They've got stir-fry noodles over there. You can see the lady doing it on the wok. And they've got the barbecued meats or kebab meats right there, which are also very nice. And then everything is serve yourself, and some of the stands you actually get served, and it's usually sold by item or by weight. So depending on how you want to buy something. And this is all cooked in the kitchens in the back here. This is not fast food, basically. It's all cooked and available literally as quick as they make it and put it out. Now it does look cafeteria-like, which I totally agree with. Where is my spaghetti? I normally get spaghetti bolognese when I come here. You see all the kitchens in the back. And the one thing that's important, most of the ingredients, almost all of them, are things that you can buy in the supermarket. And that's why people also love it, because they know it's the same quality of product. Well, just have to be a bit polite to get around. And then there is upstairs and downstairs dining. All the salads going out. And then you just go to the checkouts and pay. And it's as simple as that. It's very cafeteria style or buffet style. The way it is, you get these trays with the food on. And you can have a very nice lunch. All the different cakes as well. Have a look at the choices. And not very expensive either. They're very reasonably priced if you compare it to going to a restaurant. I think it's actually even cheaper than going anywhere else. It's really hectic. I don't usually come shopping on Sundays because of how busy it is. Now the Globus itself is on the right-hand side here. And it's incredible how big it is. And of course we're going to walk around and have a look at the whole place. Now, before they actually added on a shopping center, which is way off in the distance, this front part here was the only building that was here. The shopping center opened yesterday, so they've knocked through the wall through to the regular shopping center. But before yesterday, you would only be coming to Globus. So what they've done is they've leased out all the shops here at the front to different businesses. So you could actually do other shopping, mostly all quick service style shops. And you can see then how many registers they've got. So this end is not quite open. They're actually from number 8 till about 40, they're open way off in the distance. This is rather interesting. I was wondering how long this store had been here, and they've got this history of Globus poster on the side of the entrance, which shows perhaps Mr. Globus, I'm not sure, and maybe his first building. And they started in 1828, right there. And then they expanded into Europe in 1996. And this store opened in 2016. And then at some point they've opened other stores around Russia before that. So 8 years this store's been here. I was thinking it was about 5 years, but it's nice and interesting how a German supermarket is actively showing you when it first opened and when this location opened. By the way, this is huge. If I compare it to my normal Globus that I go to, that's shopping center based, this is very big, and the layout of the store as well. So we've come in from the right-hand side, which is pretty much the main entrance. However, what's very interesting is when you first walk in, you're not walking into fruits and vegetables. You're walking into alcohol and some of the promo items right at the front there, of course. Now, Globus is very well known for its assortment of alcohol and the never-ending choices of wines. I think this is why people do love Globus, because of the choice and how many types of products you can buy in one store. And there isn't just a few, there is absolutely hundreds and hundreds. If you're wondering about Western brands and their availability, I think most people would recognize the Irish cream right there, Kahlua. Now, I'm not going to rattle off every brand we see. However, every Western brand is absolutely on the shelf. Now, how this German company brings things to Russia would obviously be the interesting question to ask, and what means they're using to get all the products here from wherever they're made. You can see all of the whiskies from Scotland. Again, all of the brands that were not available to Russia are more than available and sitting on the shelf. You can even see all of the American whiskies and bourbons. Even a good selection of Japanese whiskies as well. And then, of course, way off in the distance is all of the vodka. So there is a lot of choices. Now, of course, while I'm walking around, you're not always going to see every aisle stacked with people. You can see people, of course, having lunch. They're doing their general shopping. I don't intentionally make videos to show that somewhere is full or empty with people, because everybody tells me in the comments that, where are the shoppers? Why are their baskets not full? Where are people spending money? There's an entire aisle of champagnes and sparkling wines as well. We've even got some of the country flags set up, letting you know where things are from. I love these mini bottles. These are very nice. It's almost like grab and go for lunch. And we come around to the beer section. Now we're going to see some shoppers. And of course, Sunday is a day of rest. And all of the choices of beers that seem to be never ending. And if we're really stuck for a choice, we can always get Bud, and we can feel as American as possible. They have a lot of these micro brew beers as well, which is really nice. I like how they put the beer glasses right above them to inspire you. The alcohol section in Globus is definitely impressive. Now, you can go to any local shop and buy things. And is there a need to come to hypermarkets like this? Now, the way I see it, it depends on your convenience. If you would want to come here, of course, I came by bus, and the bus goes to the local train station. But most people that are coming here are driving here and bringing a car to come shopping. Big selection of Lays. We've even got a prawn flavor. Maybe that's a new one, I think, possibly. And then all of the cool drinks. And you can see all of these brands that have left Russia are sitting on the shelf. There's almost more choices of Coca-Cola from other countries than there was when it was produced domestically. How many types of Fanta they have. Schweppes is right there. You can actually see the bigger bottles as well. I just noticed there's a new Coca-Cola with lemon. And if you turn it around and look very closely, it's actually from England. And this white label is the import label where it's got the ingredients in Russian. But it's made in the UK. And I know in Globus they've got a lot of the imported ones. There's some from Poland right there. We've even got some from China, from Belarus. But the new Coca-Cola is here in Russia. I will have to speed run some of the sections of the store. Now, of course, this might be a little bit longer of a video, but that's my normal style. If you've watched others on the channel, you know they're a little bit more in-depth and more explanatory. There's a couple of aisles of water, and then some coffee and chocolate. So the other thing that Globus has as well is they've got a lot of ready-made food or prepared food. Now in my local Globus, this is at the front as you walk in, and in this one it's at the back. You can get all the salads, and a lot of the things that you see here would be things that were in the cafeteria back at the beginning, and then the same for all of the deli items here on the left-hand side. And we come to the candy section. There's about 4 aisles of candy, and then coffee and tea. My wife will be very happy. She can get Dolce Gusto again. This was not available in Russia for quite a while, and now it's back again. The price has gone up a little bit though, but you can get all of the different pod coffees. We've even got Starbucks in here as well, although Starbucks isn't in Russia. So one side is coffee, and then the other side is teas. So there'd have to be a couple of hundred of options of tea and coffee. Once you walk down, you know, it's not like it's stacked up. They're literally spread out down the whole aisle. There's even some tea by weight here as well. Now we'll be able to see where all the shoppers are at these fresh food sections further on in the back. So we won't show all the chocolate because that's no good for us and it's not healthy. And we don't want a German Bounty Bar or German Mars. We do want Kit Kat though, which they don't have, and I'm still depressed about it. All of the sweet and sugary candy on this side, and chewing gum. Quite often when my wife sends me to the supermarket to buy things and I end up at Globus, I end up at this section looking for all the ready-made food, because I don't have to go home and cook anything. So we can buy all the different types of food cooked. A lot of things just need heating up, that's all. And they've got the kitchens back here where they prepare everything. So everything's essentially made 24 hours a day. Lots of people are smiling and happy. At least one person. I think the whole mundane thing of coming shopping on a Sunday on your day off, maybe not exciting for some. This is what I like to get, these roast chickens at the back. I feel like I'm in Australia when I have some roast chook. You know, if you're from Australia, that's the slang word for chicken. And you come over then to the bakery. And hopefully now we can get some more people in the shot and we can see how busy it is. So they do have some bread that's made off-site. There is hundreds of types of bread in Russia as well. So if you're a bread lover, come to Globus. Or if you like cookies as well. I'm just literally walking and talking, and I hope that it's okay, this style of video. Gentleman's really in a hurry. And then they've actually got a full bakery in the back here. So this side is all the cakes and all of the pastries. And they're either sold individually or by weight. With the cakes, you can just get them to slice off what you want. You don't have to get big pieces, although some of them are very delicious. And then have a look in the back here, how big this bakery is. It's almost hard to see to the very back. And this, I think, would have to be 24 hours a day. Have a look at the production and the bread. And they've just got it stacked up. And it just smells delicious, by the way. If you could smell what I'm smelling right now. And all of these breads are made here in store. So a lot of them are loaf type of breads. So you'd slice it yourself. But a medium-sized one for 20 cents, 30 cents. A bigger one here for 60 cents. We'll quote it in American currency, because it seems to be more of a worldwide number. But you're struggling for anything in this fresh section. There isn't actually anything over $1 for all of the different types of breads. You can see the ovens back there. There is a slice your own machine if you want to slice a loaf of bread yourself. And then have a look. Oh, it's a little bit dark. All of the ovens just pumping out the bread. They've also got some more pastries. And now you can probably see from here how big the store is and how many people are in this back section. Not necessarily all in that front aisle there looking for alcohol. So we saw outside all of the meats and hams. And then, of course, the supermarket has a lot of them themselves as well. I think it's hard to grasp the size of these stores when you come here. If you're from America, think of Walmart, but more delicious and less things from China. You know, I'm sure if a lot of people are from Europe who are watching this, they may know the Globus brand already, and you might have watched a previous video. But just the sheer scale of this store and the amount of never-ending choices is staggering even for me, and I've lived here a lot of years. So these ladies are putting out all of the meat in trays, so you can actually buy any quantity or size that you like, all the different types of sausages. And a lot of them are actually prepared and made here in store. And they've got them at the back there packaging up and packing them all up. And there is also even samples as well. And you can come and help yourself. And then we slowly head towards the meat section. But what I did want to show you, and this is something that's very popular in Australia, is a meat tray. So you can actually get a pre-made package with some hamburgers and sausages for the barbecue. And if you're from Australia watching, let me know if you've maybe won a meat tray in a raffle before. I think it's a very well-known thing. I'm not sure in other countries though. And then you come down to the butcher's section. Actually, how long this is as well. And this is all by weight. So you can either get some prepared size containers of them, or you'd ask the butchers to cut you what you'd like. And the idea is you're buying things fresh. You're buying the quantity you want for the meal you're cooking, and you're not going to have any leftovers. Simple as that. And the chicken section, did you want to see what they've got over here? It looks like they've got the sushi. They do actually have a sushi section here as well. Say that fast 3 times. And you can see how quickly they sell through it. They've got the gentleman busy making sushi in the back there. So within 10 or 15 minutes, you're going to get fresh sushi. He's probably making it, and people are buying it as quick as it's going out. All of the chicken. And I think we've got to give a little bit more time to the meat section and all of the different types of salamis. And they've got a whole other butcher section over here. So you can buy it by the stick, and it's all by weight as well. You can also buy it in small packages. And then they've got all of the ladies here and gentlemen wrapping everything up. Now, depending on the product, some of them have the country of origin on them. Now, it's more common on the cheeses, and all of the different meats. And you can see the choices of cheese right here. There's probably a couple of hundred different types. So there is, of course, a lot of Russian cheese. Argentina. There's actually some from Switzerland back there. Actually quite a lot of Swiss cheeses. All with the country flag on them, which is nice. But the thing in Russia that is very normal and very typical is the sheer amount of choices of fresh food and the limited amount of canned food and packaged and processed food. And you can have anything you like. And the thing with most people when they're shopping, they're buying only for 1 or 2 days worth of food shopping. Perhaps in this store, some people may buy for the week because of the fact that it's a shopping center where you'd come and drive to. So you've got a car, you can buy things and carry them home a little bit easier than I do catching the bus. It's really very impressive. Now, I've been to my local Globus thousands of times. I haven't been to this one before. This is the first time I've been to this shop. Actually, it's also the first time I literally walked in. I did have breakfast in the cafeteria a lot of hours ago. I did come here for some other things in this area, so it made sense to come and make a couple of videos at the same time. You can see all of the choices of fresh sausages. And again, all of this is made in-house right here. When I made a previous video at a shopping center about a week ago, there was a lot of comments about the fact that I went during the week. Now, I can't film everything on Saturday and Sunday because I don't have enough hours in the day to do that. Now, today I came specifically to this area for a few different things, and it made sense to come and show how busy a Russian supermarket is and show how many choices of things there are. And it's difficult to keep everybody happy. I'm sure people are going to comment in this video that people don't have full shopping baskets, or the fact that everybody are paid actors in the store as well. And it's really hard, even walking around, to give a perspective of how big the whole place is. So I hope the video does justice to Globus and just how big these stores are. They do have frozen food in Russia. It is limited to these 2 aisles, and there isn't a single person buying anything out of the frozen section, which is interesting. And we come around then to the rest of the refrigerated area. So the eggs. Now there is eggs down this entire aisle. There's even pallets of them getting put on display. I think the sheer turnover of items on the weekend, just proves that. I think there's way too many choices of eggs in Russia. I'd love for them to have less choices, so it makes my shopping easier when I come to buy something my wife sends me shopping for. And then the whole right-hand side here is just refrigerated mayonnaise and how many types of them that you can buy. There is also butter over here as well. And I do remember going back, I think 2 years ago, people made videos showing butter locked in containers, and there isn't anything locked up in here whatsoever. I don't think I've even seen anything with the anti-theft cases since I've walked around. You might see some on the higher priced alcohol bottles, and that's pretty much about it. And then generally the rest of the store, everything is in normal packaging. This is the yogurts and milk. think a lot of people stay out of this aisle because it's just colder than it is outside. You'll see a lot of people with jackets on, and then also a lot of people put their jacket in their shopping cart when they're walking around. So they don't want to go back into the cold. And then there's more yogurts on this section. Lots of people stocking the shelves as well. And there's cottage cheese on this side. There's an aisle of cottage cheese or thereabouts. Lots of different snack size packaging of them as well. It looks like an ice cream bar. It's wrapped in chocolate. I want to jump in and say a big thank you to lots of subscribers from the YouTube channel and from my Telegram channel who have recognized me as I'm walking around today. It's really nice to meet people spontaneously, and I think they're more surprised that I'm in their local shop than when I, arrange a meetup here in Moscow. So it's so nice. And if you do see me when I'm filming out about somewhere, please come up and say hello. I'm more than happy to have a chat to you, and it's actually even nice just to talk about the local area because this is where they're from. So yeah, thanks everybody if you've said hello to me today during the video. Maybe this is the master plan of the owner of this supermarket by putting the fruit and vegetables in the middle of the store, so it makes you walk past a lot of other things before you get to some of the more staple items. And it's a ploy to have you walk around. I know it's traditional in supermarkets, they do that. They put bread as far away from the entrance as possible and certain other commodity items. Now you can see everybody getting all of the normal, typical fruits and vegetables. This is where everybody's is also shopping. I'm trying to give you a good uncut version of the walk around here and show you as many things as I can. And the never-ending choice of apples. The one thing that's important and interesting is a lot of people would have smaller farmers market type shops like we saw in the car park closer to where they live. And not everybody in Russia is coming to a supermarket. And a lot of people prefer to shop at smaller markets where they know the seller, they know perhaps where they've got their items from. And not everybody in Russia comes to supermarkets. I don't like all the packaging that they use in Russia on everything. The cellophane and plastic. It's all so disposable. We can see all the more normal vegetables. And everybody buying what they need. And the other thing too is with a lot of this by weight, you buy what you want and need. So if you only want one onion or one carrot, you can buy it that way. You're not forced to buy everything by bags. And I think people are shopping a lot more modestly and buying really only what they want to eat for the next few days or till the next time they come to a supermarket. And I think in general in Russia, people don't waste as much food because they're only buying what they want. They're buying it fresher, they're eating it quicker, and less of it's stored and, kept in cans and packaging. Some nice oranges. We're kind of between seasons now. We're waiting for mandarin season to kick in for winter. We'll still get mangoes, avocados. You can see now, looking down the full length of the store, how spread out and spacious it is. And the one thing too you'll notice in this store, and I pointed out a lot in other shops, is the smaller baskets. And in this shop, because most people come here by car, they are able to carry more things home. So far more people have the traditional shopping baskets than just having these smaller carts. Like you see, people just leave them in the aisle, go shopping, come back and grab it. No problems at all. Now we come to the traditional food aisles. There's only another few hundred to go. I won't show everything, of course. So everything's laid out here by type of food and category. We did actually have a really nice soup last night. And a lot of these ingredients right here are the soup mixes that you can get. And there's cereals and lots of oats and porridge, which is a very traditional Russian breakfast. And then let's keep walking. Everywhere you see the abandoned baskets. People literally just leave them where they are, go shopping, grab something else, and then come back and keep going rather than pushing it up and down every aisle. You can see it down this aisle, all of the tomato sauces and pasta sauces. I think quite a few of these brands might be recognizable. And of course, Heinz. There's a lot of other Russian ketchup brands as well. And over here, all of the different oils. And you can see olive oils. So many choices. I don't know how my wife comes shopping. I generally get a list when I come, or I get told what we need to buy, whereas she'll come randomly and just wander around. We come some of the baking items, so things like salt and sugar. And you can get sugar here up to 5 kilos if you don't want just a small package of it. A lot of people do a lot of canning and jarring of fruits and vegetables during the summertime. And flour and all the sachets then for cooking. I think I will try and do my best to show as much of the food items as I can in the store, because there's just so many choices and there isn't anything not in stock here. Even in off seasons, you can still buy pineapples from Costa Rica. Where are the bananas? All the bananas in Russia come from Ecuador. All of the different leaf vegetables. There's the whole side of them right here. I like how they're in the baskets. Makes them look very nice. So if you're doing some sort of cooking, and very farmer's market looking and very un-supermarket like. What do we got? So all of the fruits and vegetables. And we actually come over here then to the fish section. So you can buy, like we saw outside, some of the different fish items. So there is actually some frozen fish right in these freezers. So literally you just put it in a bag and it's all by weight. So it's very easy to shop for. And then if you're wondering, do Russian eat frozen fish? Definitely they do. You can even get fish fingers. So if you're from the UK, I think you'd know them very well. So all of these frozen fish items, people would use them for soups and stock. A lot more people prefer fresh fish where possible. Some packaged seafood here. And lots of dried and smoked fish. There is the caviar section. So here you'll see the anti-theft cases on the caviar, because they run $50, $80 a jar, and then literally as much or as little as you like to pay. I think that's the only anti-theft case I found in the whole shop. You can see all of the smoked fish as well. So this was all what we saw outside. But this is actually the supermarket option. And maybe that's why there's less people looking here, because people were buying it on the way in or out of the supermarket. Let's see if we can see some fresh fish. A bit hard to look at some of the counters because all the ladies want to gather around. Let's see here, all the fish items. I'm sorry if I'm walking too fast. I'm trying to show as much as I can in one go. Oh, the fresh salmon right there. Check that out. And they do have a couple of fish tanks. And if you don't want to go to the aquarium in Moscow and pay for tickets, you come here to have a look at the fish in the tank. Right there, there's some Dorado. And all the fish in the aquarium right here. This really is a very big store. I think it's definitely bigger than my local Globus that I go to. I think it's maybe a half size bigger. And it's already a big store. And then when I'm walking around this, it's just never ending. I've not even got out of the food section to the regular part of the shop yet. And the amount of choices of food. One thing that's interesting, I had something to eat before I even came in the store. It would be almost scary to come shopping here if you were hungry. But you'd end up with a full basket very quickly. So you can see now all of the non-grocery items. So it turns now really into a department store or a more traditional shop like a Walmart, where you can get everything for your kitchen and your house. And then the normal personal care items. You want stuff for your kitchen there, you can see all the pans. And there is quite a lot of aisles now of the personal care section. So things like shampoos, deodorants, soaps. It just keeps going and going. And then you'll see how much choice it does now get a little bit quieter. There we go. There's an anti-theft case for you on a $2 item. That's really interesting. Why is it on ladies' deodorant, not on something else of value? So the rest of the store is all of the non-food items. Whole aisle of washing detergents. So this is all of the homeware items. You can see everybody busy filling the shelves. Maybe Sunday is the day. There isn't a bias here on wages. So if somebody's working on a Sunday, the salaries are not different than if you were to come on Monday or Tuesday and work. Nobody fighting for toilet paper in Russia. Maybe some of the on special ones are run out. Oh my gosh, we've got a crisis. And there's an empty shelf. Luckily there's a few hundred more choices. Let's keep going around. I wanted to get to one of the end aisles so you can get a bit of a feeling of how big the general shop is. Wintertime now, all the tires are here. I'm not sure about buying tires in a supermarket. I know it's probably normal to some people. And to me, it just feels a little bit different. As I'm walking around this non-food end of Globus, I just noticed here some stuffed toys. And this may not be important to most people. However, they've got one here, and it's called a quokka. Now, this is a native animal that's only found in one place in the world, and it's on the southwest corner of Australia. And there's an island called Rottnest, where there's quite a lot of them. But they're nowhere else in the world. And I walk into a German supermarket here in Moscow region, and they've got a stuffed toy of an animal that I would have to think 99% of the Russian population have never heard of a quokka before. And they're this cute looking rat type animal that's about the size of a cat. And there's literally only a few places on the planet you can see them, except here in this supermarket. And it just caught the side of my vision as I was walking through, and I'm in shock. I took a photo and sent it to my wife, and even she's surprised how they've got that stuffed toy in this store. This is a big Globus. I know I've said it a few times. Just the amount of steps that you do walking through here. By the time you get from one end to the other and try to make your way out the exit, even the pet section. So they've got one here, and then the main pet section is in the back, which they've got 4 aisles dedicated to cats and dogs. So yeah, there's definitely a lot of choices. Does Russia have canned food? They do, but not a whole lot. Peas, corn, and there'll be olives somewhere as well. And then usually a little bit of canned fish. They've got a lot of pickled vegetables. A whole aisle of it, actually, if you walk around and have a look at all of them. There is pretty much any possible vegetable pickled that you could want, and the different types and flavors. Here we go, this is the canned fish, and a lot of different types of smoked fish as well. And then all of the olives, which are mostly all Spanish olives. There's some Italian as well. You even see the flag right there. Ah. And then a very limited amount of canned fruit. And I think also someone's done an online order for some, but it's not very popular in Russia. I did want to show the registers if I could, and at least show you that everybody is doing shopping and buying things and paying for things. So there's a combination of the regular checkouts, and they've got this very big self-checkout area here, which has got about 25 self-checkouts. I always wonder why people with full baskets of things do the self-checkout, because it's not any faster to do it yourself. If maybe we want some gossip magazines, there is all of the usual things. There's even some newspapers as well. Are people reading newspapers anymore? Let me know. That's all the gossip stuff right here, and crossword magazines. And we can see more of the checkouts. I think I've almost looped around the whole store. It's a matter of finding the shorter aisle to get out. And of course all the usual things at the registers. There is actually a healthy aisle as well, right here. Getting a little distracted as I walk around. I keep seeing something that I didn't see before, because I didn't do every aisle going up and down. So what they've done, they pulled all of the regular products and put them all in one section. I think someone's asked me quite a few times about this. Do you have gluten-free items in Russia? So they've put it all in one place. I think you could do all your shopping in one aisle almost here. This could be the cheating way to shop. Just buy all the healthy things and just do one aisle and get out of here. Pasta, crackers. There's even some different energy bars. Are chocolate biscuits healthy? Someone needs to tell me. Perhaps they're also gluten-free as well. When we've made it back around, I need to get myself a drink before I head on out. Then we're back here at the yogurts and deli section again. Now I'm back to the crowds. We've got the antifreeze ahead of time for winter, so you can grab a bottle for the car. We haven't quite got cold weather yet, but it's coming. And there we have it. You've seen a Russian typical German-owned supermarket. Got to always throw that German-owned part in because some people tend to pick up on it and question it. Is there anybody looking in the frozen section? I don't think there is. Maybe that's the ice creams on the other side. And that's what they've found. Actually, yes. It's the start of the ice cream section. As I tried to navigate my way out of the store, I had to go back and get myself a drink. I'm going to get the Russian cola with a lime and a Milky Way. I need a little bit of energy after walking around. As I make my way out of Globus and this Russian typical supermarket, and I'm going to say it's typical because large format supermarkets are a thing in Russia and people do shop in them. And being that today is Sunday and a non-working day in Russia, people are here. The car park is full. I need to walk over to the bus to head on over to the train station to get home. This is not where I live immediately. There is actually no houses around. There is a lot of more traditional houses in this area of Moscow though. No apartments, and pretty much I don't think anybody would walk here to come shopping, which is very interesting. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up. I don't have a hand free because I'm just carrying my drink still. Let me know in the comments what you think of Globus. Is it anything like where you shop, where you live in the world? Let me know the country you're from and how similar this store is to where you live. Does it have this sort of selection that you've seen and this much fresh food and ready-made food? You know, I'm used to this by now. I've lived here for more than enough years, but I can still be wowed by supermarkets when I go in them and the choices. I was working in supermarkets in Australia before I moved to Russia, and that's a big backbone of a lot of the videos on the channel. So it makes sense if you're wondering why there's so many supermarket videos here on my YouTube channel. I am mixing up the content though. If you'd like to follow me on Telegram, there's a link right here. And if you want to watch an old video, I'll actually put the Odie Park Shopping Centre video as the end card, so you can click that and you can have a look at the rest of the businesses that are right here and you can keep traveling with Russell. Okay everybody, I'm off on another adventure. Bye.